1993, The Adventures of Brisco County Jr. premiered on United States networks and lasted for a single season, ending in 1994 with 27 episodes. The plot of the series was that it took place within the American West of the year 1893. Wealthy and politically powerful individuals controlled the financial and industrial situations of the West from one of the most exclusive gentlemen's clubs of the time, which was the Westerfield Club. Famous United States Marshal Brisco County Sr. had caught a notorious gang of outlaws, on the leader of whom was called John Bly, a ruthless criminal. While transporting the lot of them to stand for trial, Brisco Sr. is murdered and the whole gang escapes. During this incident within a nearby mine, a group of Chinese laborers uncover the orb, a large golden globe with rods embedded within it. One of the curious laborers pulls out a rod from the orb, then through circumstances touches the other laborers with it. Each of them obtains superhuman strength, and later free themselves from their forced labor situation within the mine. The murder of Brisco County Sr. as well as the discovery of the orb were major plot aspects of the series. Throughout the series, the son of Brisco County Sr., being that of Brisco County Jr., seeks to find John Bly to avenge his father's murder and to bring him to justice as well. Through this series, Brisco came across other characters in the series, notably Dixie Cousins, who originally had a brief romantic encounter with Brisco, but later became his main love interest for the series. Brisco himself was actually viewed as somewhat different from the stereotypical American cowboy of the Wild West, often using intelligence and wit to outmaneuver problems that he might come across. And contrary to the era of the late 1800s, Brisco did carry a gun, but he rarely used it, and if he did, it was often to disarm or stun enemies, never to kill. The orb had fantastic powers that affected people differently when used or exposed to it. Screenwriters had it that through the episodes there were multiple orbs, as these orbs represented faith or emotions, and that depending on the intentions of the potential user, the orbs would reward or punish them. Through this series, it's actually revealed that John Bly is a time traveler from the future in the year of 2506, whom had traveled to 1893 to obtain the orb, which were actually sent back in time through events from the year 5502, and to return to his own time using the powers of the orb to rule the world. The series ends with Brisco proving his innocence against claims of high treason, and everything ends well for him. Bruce Campbell, the actor who portrayed Brisco County, auditioned for the role 5 times before he was given the lead part. At the time, he believed very strongly in the series of Brisco County, and through his work, the series was heavily promoted. After the pilot episode was broadcasted, ratings were decent, but soon after they declined quickly. Despite the decreasing ratings, executive decisions had it that the series put out at least a season in terms of production. This decision was done that in hopes the ratings would increase and improve the appearance of the character Brisco County as well as the series. This unfortunately did not happen. During the series, dynamics of Brisco County as a character and even the premise of the series had changed multiple times. As mentioned, Brisco County was a cowboy that wasn't a cowboy at the same time, and this was one of the reasons why the series did not do as well as executives or people affiliated with the series had hoped. Viewers apparently desired something more traditional of the Wild West in the late 1800s, and Brisco County Jr. as a character, even as a series, blended a whole host of different aspects of genres together. The science fiction aspect of the series, as mentioned, was the orb, and even time travel later on in the season. Executives often complained to screenwriters about the amount of Western themes depicted in the show, as well as the sci-fi within the show as well. Often there were conflicting points of view as to how much one theme should be used when compared to another. Eventually, the ore plot was written out of the series by conclusion, and the series attempted to focus more on Western aspects of the 1893 setting. Sources haded that there were many reasons for why this series was cancelled, from the time slot that it was broadcasted on United States television to the character of Brisco County. On viewer reactions or responses to these themes depicted in the series, the possibility of the series being cancelled or renewed for another season were about even. On sources further haded that it could have continued the adventures of Brisco County Jr. Concepts had it that the character Brisco County would have begun the second season settling in as the new sheriff of a small town, and the second season of the series would have continued from that plot angle. After its cancellation, the series in the following years began to be re-evaluated by critics as well as fans, and is now considered to be one of the most underrated shows of the early 1990s in American television, on the character Brisco County being that of a fresh and well thought out main character for a show. Sometimes a character could be forgotten because they were too different than what some had wanted to see in the main character for a television series.